First of all, let's talk about the problem we're trying to solve. We have Juan, our hero. He lives in a fishing village on an island, and the universities are a long way away. He's tried these online classes, these MOOCs, and one challenge he finds out is he's kind of feeling alone in his studies. He does the social networking stuff, but in reality, they ain't very social.
Recently, NPR has discussed some of the challenges with regard to massive online classes.
We've got a report card now on a big trend in higher education, MOOCs. That's short for Massive Open Online Courses. The idea really took off last year when the New York Times famously dubbed 2012 the year of the MOOC. Well, with 2013 came a reality check. Faculty at several institutions rebelled against full-throttle expansion of online learning, and the largest MOOC providers have announced changes in how they plan to deliver online education in 2014. NPR's Eric Westervelt has our story.
Many saw the rapid expansion of MOOCs over the last 2 years as a higher education revolution that would help address two long, vexing problems: cost and access for underserved students. Earlier this year, California's San Jose State University partnered with Udacity to offer several types of MOOC classes for credit at low cost, but the San Jose experiment, by all accounts, was a bust. Completion rates and grades were worse than for those who took traditional campus-style classes. And the students who did best were not the underserved students San Jose most wanted to reach.
The people that do well in these kind of courses are people who are already studious, or they're people who are taking courses for their own enrichment after they graduated.
A recent University of Pennsylvania study confirmed a massive problem. MOOCs have painfully few active users. About half who registered for a class ever viewed a lecture, and completion rates average just 4% across all courses. That the former Stanford professor and inventor, whose online artificial intelligence course helped kick off the MOOC frenzy, was fundamentally rethinking its viability, shook the higher ed world. What was missing, many students complained, was a human connection beyond the streamed lecture. That's what Tracy Wheeler found lacking. This year she immersed herself in 5 MOOCs from 2 providers, from a course on statistics to one on global poverty.
I thought I'd go in deeper, and come out wanting to move to India and help her with one of her experiments.
Instead, the 52-year-old education consultant says she hated being chained to the computer screen, and she found the entire MOOC experience mechanistic, dreary, and ineffectual.
I'm a very social person. There was nothing to grasp onto. There were no people, there was no professor. In a sense, you're just learning in this void. I think I kept saying it was like soul-sucking. I would come away from my computer just kind of despondent and feeling really reduced somehow.
In class, you can make a comment, you can flirt, you can
you can pass a note.
Eyes, you can pass a note. So
you can have fun.
Udacity's Sebastian Thrun.
We entered human mentors. We have people almost 24/7 that help you when you get stuck. We also added a lot of projects that we require human feedback and human grading. And that human element, surprise, surprise, makes a huge difference in the student experience, in the learning outcomes.
Like Udacity, MOOC pioneer Coursera is also changing. The company's creating learning hubs at U.S. consulates around the world that will include a weekly in-person instructor to foster discussion.
Learning hubs. This is James again. We think that's a great idea.
So one solution we're proposing is something very simple. How about Juan actually looks for other people on the island that want to study online with him? They can get together and work on the class at the same time. And what's really exciting is they can meet at Juan's favorite cafe, where they can drink, they can eat, and they can do Google Hangouts and Skype with other students from way afar. So what are the steps we need to take? First of all, Juan needs to connect with Anita, and she's local. And they get together and create a team. Or Juan joins a local learning hub located in a school or Juan's favorite cafe. And once again, he gets his coffee. And the important thing here is Juan gets educated. So how are we going to make this happen? Well, first of all, we'll start with something simple, a map. And from that map, what we do is a local search, a little bit of proximity searching, and finally what you're able to do is find your team or find your hub. But you can also use these same tools in order to find other students. So let's show you. So teaching us, this is a very raw prototype, MOOC Tools demo, and we're focused here on local teams and hubs. First of all, what we want to do is find your crew. So here we go, we're going to use a search, do a proximity search for all the different students within a Coursera class. We find a group of students that are local to us. We go ahead and create our team. We go ahead and add a group of people to that team. These people have already registered, but we can send invites out via email and other such vehicles. One important thing we've set up here is we do have the ability to speak multiple languages, any type of language, most languages of the world. With this platform is also mobile ready. What that means is it's just a web page, but it actually fits. And why would you like to be able to do this? What's the drivers here? First of all, face-to-face meets kind of an online course universe, these MOOCs. So it's kind of the blending between the world of standard education and online education. A lot of times when you work on a face-to-face basis, the dynamics of the teams change. And also at the same time, what we think is going to happen is that you're going to increase course completion. This actually complements local schools and colleges. So anybody will be able to create these type of hubs or teams, and a lot of subjects like architecture and geology are actually local. So what's the value here? How are we going to extract value for a customer? Well, we'll be working on a freemium model, and essentially what we're looking at, local institutions are willing to pay a premium service for privacy, analytics, as well as features. So how do we make cash? Sales to MOOC vendors, in-app sales and services. We have costs though, platform, build, image, local marketing, sales funnel channel, local advertisement support, legal. Now we did do a set of surveys and interviews. We conducted 2 surveys. These were one after the other. We actually learned a lot from the first survey, and the lessons we learned here is that there was a very high use of third-party tools. We got very mixed levels of satisfaction, and a high number of courses taken. It was incredible. We had one person that actually had taken 50 courses, yet there was very high levels of drop-offs. Now, this actually challenged our initial assumptions. We were thinking, oh, MOOCs would, might be a viable business there. And we kind of decided that we might want to focus more on MOOC tools and services, essentially selling the shovels instead of panning for gold.
Sales is going to be slightly different here because we're going to be focused on network local sales. But one thing that's going to be unique here, we are going to implement a promo code tracking system so we can track each campaign as it moves on. Customer acquisition costs is, of course, one of the great challenges. Yes, SEM is interesting, but that may actually prove too costly. Social marketing is probably our alternative, but we have to meet critical mass in order for this to work. Distribution, what we've been doing is we have local domain names. I have about 500 and a large number of country domain names. Of course, invitations from friends will also be utilized. Partnerships, of course, schools, universities, independents. But course creation, what we'll probably do is focus on local teachers and classes. Initial target, what we're going to be doing is targeting those cities in which we have a little bit of an advantage. Those cities in which they basically have a high concentration of educational institutions. One example is the domain name we have, which is mountainview.us. Hey, if you'd like to come and join us, we really appreciate your help on this, and we also would love your input and ideas. I want to thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.